After waiting for a moment and seeing no one continue to bid, the auctioneer on stage began the countdown. 2,200,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the first time. 2,200,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the second time. 2,200,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the third time. Sold. Congratulations to the friend in VIP booth number 1 for successfully winning this second auction item. After that, 2 maids went up to the stage and took the second auction item away. Following that, another 2 maids pushed a specially made cage onto the stage. Enclosed within the cage was Lin Jing. At this moment, Lin Jing seemed to accept her fate, not exhibiting the fear and panic seen in others. Lin Jing was merely sitting with her eyes closed in meditation, and there was no sign of any emotion on her face. As soon as Lin Jing was pushed onto the stage, the host began to speak. This is the last auction item of today's event, which I am sure everyone has already seen on the auction list. So without further ado, the starting bid for this item is 1 million medium-grade spirit stones, and each bid must increase by no less than 100,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Now, let the bidding for the first auction item begin. As soon as the beautiful host on stage had finished speaking, there was immediate quiet discussion among the audience below. However, no one began to call out a bid. It was clear to everyone that this first auction item was not something that people in the auction hall could win. It would ultimately still be up to those in the booths to compete for it. Nevertheless, the silence in the venue did not last long, as a voice soon came from a corner at the back of the hall. I bid 1,100,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Suddenly, many people turned their heads to look towards the back, to the corner where Lin Jing was. However, it was not Lin Jing who had called out the bid. It was a mysterious cultivator nearby, shrouded in a black robe and completely concealing themselves. Even Lin Jing became curious and turned to look at the person. All that could be seen was the figure entirely obscured by a wide black robe, leaving Lin Jing unable to see the person's appearance. Since the person was especially close to Lin Jing, he could distinctly feel the surge of demonic qi within their body. It was apparent that this was a demon cultivator. After the demon cultivator made their bid, another quickly followed. I bid 1,200,000. Gradually, the atmosphere in the hall became more lively. Someone has bid 1,200,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Does anyone offer higher? At this moment, the beautiful host on stage began to stir the atmosphere. 1,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Quickly, the demon cultivator spoke again, sharply raising the bid to 1,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones. This substantial increase by 30,000 medium-grade spirit stones drew many sidelong glances. After the demon cultivator's statement, soon, the voice of the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang came again from a luxury booth on the second floor. 1,800,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Just like the demon cultivator, the young gang leader increased his bid by 30,000 spirit stones in one go. The demon cultivator looked up towards the luxury booth on the second floor. Then, he lowered his head again, facing the direction of the auction stage, and said in a deep voice, 2 million medium-grade spirit stones. However, this time the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang didn't wait long and directly stated, then I'll bid 2,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones, lest anyone thinks I cannot afford it. The voice of the young gang leader was extremely casual, as if the 2,500,000 was not even worth his concern. However, only Lin Jing knew that the 2,500,000 spirit stones were being bid with someone else's assistance, which was why he could be so arrogant. After the young gang leader finished speaking, the mysterious demon cultivator, not far from Lin Jing, merely looked up again towards the booths, then turned his head away, showing no further action. Obviously, the demon cultivator did not have more spirit stones on him. However, with the demon cultivator remaining silent, someone else began to bid. This time, it was VIP booth number 5 that also started bidding. 2,600,000 medium-grade spirit stones. At this point, another voice came from another booth. 2,700,000 medium-grade spirit stones. At this time, the beautiful host on stage also followed up with a comment. Now, our friend in VIP booth number 3 has bid 2,700,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Do I hear any higher offers? No sooner had the beautiful host finished speaking than the voice from VIP booth number 1, where the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, calmly interjected. Interesting. 3 million medium-grade spirit stones. By this point, no one else in the auction hall made a bid, and the main competitors were now concentrated in the booths. And the price had been shouted up to 3 million. For a large-scale auction like this, the people in the hall simply could not get a word in and could only watch. After all, 3 million medium-grade spirit stones was not a small sum, and not many could bring that amount to the table. By now, the pace of bidding had also slowed down. The people inside the booths also began to hesitate. Then, from VIP booth number 5, someone spoke up again, raising the bid to 3,200,000 medium-grade spirit stones. The cultivator in VIP booth number 5, when calling out this price, hesitated noticeably. But just as this person had finished speaking, the voice of the young gang leader from VIP booth number 1 was still calm, raising the bid to a staggering 3,500,000. Facing this bid, the cultivator in VIP booth number 5 plainly said, "You win," and then fell silent. After this price was called out, no one in private room number 3 continued to bid. Therefore, on the auction stage, the beautiful hostess began the countdown. 3,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the first time. 3,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the second time. 3,500,000 medium-grade spirit stones for the third time. Sold. Congratulations to the friend in private room number 1 upstairs for obtaining the final auction item of this auction. At this moment, Lin Jing knew that the auction was about to end, and it was time for him to leave and prepare to start the next step of his plan. Therefore, before the host announced the end of the auction, Lin Jing left the auction house ahead of time. No sooner had he stepped out of the auction house than Lin Jing noticed another person following him. This person was the mysterious demon cultivator who had participated in the bidding just now. After coming out, this person did not pay attention to Lin Jing, but immediately disappeared into the crowd. Lin Jing only glanced at this person, then left the place himself. For hours later, outside Black Shark City, in under observation mode, Lin Jing, who had been waiting here for a long time, finally saw that purple-clad youth, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. At this moment, besides the purple-clad youth, there were several people following him. Among them, 2 were golden core late-stage cultivators, standing beside the purple-clad youth. Behind these 3, there was the black-clad, stalwart man, accompanying Qingqing and the other young girl whom the purple-clad youth had won at the auction. One of the middle-aged cultivators spoke and asked the purple-clad youth, "Young gang leader, are we really not taking the flying boat?" The purple-clad youth shook his head and said, "If we want to lure the black kite to Black Shark Island, we must take the owner of the black kite away under the broad daylight. We cannot use the flying boat." After saying this, the purple-clad youth looked up and glanced at the sky. "I believe that as of now, that black kite might be above us in the sky or hiding in some corner, secretly watching us. But, Hall Master Zhao, you needn't worry. This time, I've prepared magical treasures capable of flying. Though their speed is inferior to that of the flying boat, their defensive functions are excellent, and they are not afraid of stealth attacks from the black kite." Hall Master Zhao nodded, then said, "All right, then, since that's the case, let's go." The purple-clad youth nodded, then took out a peculiarly shaped magical treasure from his space ring. This magical treasure looked half like a fan. Next, the purple-clad youth channeled his spiritual power into it, causing the treasure to expand significantly, spanning several feet in diameter. After that, the group boarded the treasure and left Black Xing Island. After they had departed, Lin Jing waited for quite a while before coming out of the system space. Upon Lin Jing's exit, Little Sparrow flew from somewhere and perched on Lin Jing's shoulder. Then, Lin Jing, along with Little Sparrow, left Black Xing Island. Once they entered the sea area and saw that there was nobody around, Lin Jing directly took out the Shadow Escape flying boat, and together with Little Sparrow, began piloting the flying boat in pursuit of the group. Thanks to the strong concealment ability of the Shadow Escape flying boat, even when they were close, Lin Jing wasn't worried about being discovered. But Lin Jing's intention was not to catch up and attack them, but to continue waiting for the right opportunity to present itself. First, he needed to get ahead of them. The Shadow Escape flying boat was fast, and before long, Lin Jing piloted it to catch up with the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang and his group. At this juncture, Lin Jing was inside the Shadow Escape flying boat, observing the group. However, none of them was aware that there was a flying boat above them. After observing them for a while, Lin Jing accelerated ahead of the group, planning to lay an ambush in front. The Shadow Escape flying boat was incredibly fast, and it didn't take long before Lin Jing had left them far behind. Just as Lin Jing had chosen a good spot and was about to set up the ambush. At that moment, he suddenly detected unusual fluctuations ahead. Consequently, Lin Jing hurriedly piloted the flying boat towards them. Upon arrival, Lin Jing discovered a person setting up a formation, and the setup of this formation was nearing completion, almost ready to activate. Lin Jing focused his gaze and saw that it was that mysterious demon Cultivator, who he had seen earlier at the auction, sitting not far from him. This person was setting up a formation here, but for what purpose? Shortly, the formation was completed. At the successful moment of the formation's activation, it completely concealed itself. This turned out to be a formation with a cloaking feature. At this time, the mysterious demon Cultivator stood in front of the formation, seeming to await someone's arrival. Lin Jing watched the demon Cultivator while recalling his actions inside the auction house. He then began to contemplate internally. Could it be that this person has a grudge against the Black Shark Gang's young gang leader? Or is he also after Qingqing? The actions of this mysterious demon Cultivator in the auction house were clearly observed by Lin Jing. It was obvious that he too had wanted to win Qingqing, but, unfortunately, didn't have enough spirit stones on him. Watching the mysterious demon Cultivator, Lin Jing frowned and pondered. Could it be that to snatch Qingqing, this person has set up an ambush here to intercept the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang and his group? But this person was clearly overestimating his abilities. Thinking he could intercept the young gang leader's group with just a mid-stage golden core cultivation seemed like wishful thinking, akin to a mantis trying to stop a chariot. However, it was the appearance of this mysterious demon Cultivator that caused Lin Jing to change his mind. He decided to hold off for the time being, deciding to wait until the two parties started fighting before looking for an opportunity to rescue Qingqing. This demon Cultivator, Lin Jing, didn't know why he insisted on intercepting the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. But if he really wanted to snatch Qingqing away, Lin Jing would definitely take action. Lin Jing would absolutely not allow Qingqing to fall into anyone else's hands. Next, Lin Jing directly left the area. If they started fighting later, even if Lin Jing hid inside the flying boat, it wouldn't necessarily be safe, as he might be implicated and thus exposed. After leaving a certain distance and feeling it was relatively safe, Lin Jing and Little Sparrow watched the demon Cultivator below from inside the Shadow Escape flying boat. At this point, it had to be said, the Shadow Escape flying boat's concealment capabilities were truly formidable. Lin Jing had just piloted the flying boat not too far from this demon Cultivator. If it had been an ordinary flying boat, it would probably have been discovered long ago. But the Shadow Escape flying boat, with its exceptional concealment ability, had remained undetected by the mysterious demon Cultivator until now. Even not just by this mysterious demon Cultivator, but also when he was following the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang just before. Among the young gang leader's entourage were two Hall Masters in the Golden Core late stage, but neither of them noticed Lin Jing's tracking. Like this, not much time passed, even less than 2/4 of an hour. The young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang and a few others had already arrived here, using the Bulrush fan magical treasure. At this moment, the mysterious demon Cultivator happened to be blocking their path. Facing the mysterious demon Cultivator blocking the way, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang stopped and directly said to the mysterious demon Cultivator, "I know you. You were competing with me in the auction house before. What? Are you blocking my way because you want to snatch someone from me?" However, the mysterious demon Cultivator snorted coldly and then said, "Humph, I am here to kill you." Facing the mysterious demon Cultivator's arrogant words, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang couldn't help but scoff. "Haha, such arrogance. I wonder who gave you the courage." At this time, not only the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, but also the two hall masters of the Black Shark Gang felt the same. They looked at the mysterious demon Cultivator with contempt. It was clear to them that the mysterious demon Cultivator only possessed mid-golden core cultivation, hardly a match for their group on his own. Either of the two hall masters could easily handle this demon Cultivator. Yet he dared to be so bold as to threaten to kill their young gang leader. If he succeeded, the two of them wouldn't need to live anymore. They might as well just die. None of them, looking disdainfully at the mysterious demon Cultivator, believed he could succeed. Even Lin Jing, watching from above, didn't think the mysterious demon Cultivator was a match for the Black Shark Gang's party. Although this demon Cultivator had set up a formation in advance, he was facing two cultivators in the Golden Core late stage. At this moment, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang directly addressed the two hall masters of the Black Shark Gang. "Hall Master Zhao, Hall Master Li, please handle this person. I really want to see where his confidence comes from." The two hall masters of the Black Shark Gang said, "Young gang leader, rest assured. Leave this arrogant person to us." Having said that, one of them, Hall Master Zhao, directly said to Hall Master Li, "Old Li, you stay here to watch and take care of the young gang leader. I'll go confront this person. I really want to see what makes him so audacious." Hall Master Li cautioned, "Be careful, it could be a trick." Hall Master Zhao said, "Don't worry, I've already checked. There should only be him nearby." After speaking, Hall Master Zhao charged directly forward. At the same time, he unleashed a wheel-shaped magical treasure that whistled toward the mysterious demon Cultivator. Seeing this, the mysterious demon Cultivator also made his move, black demonic chi billowing from his body, instantly enveloping him. In addition, the demon Cultivator also released several black beads that attacked the wheel-shaped magical treasure. Like this, the battle between the two instantly erupted. Hall Master Zhao, truly worthy of his Golden Core late-stage cultivation, had a slight upper hand over the demon Cultivator as soon as they clashed. But the demon Cultivator was not simple either, seeing that his black bead magical treasures could only barely manage. He brought out a flying sword as well. In cooperation with the black beads, he attacked Hall Master Zhao. Hall Master Zhao, observing this, also hastened to channel spiritual power, controlling the wheel-shaped magical treasure to attack the demon Cultivator. For a moment, neither could get the better of the other, and they were at a stalemate. After fighting for a while, the mysterious demon Cultivator slowly found himself on the losing side again. Seeing this, the mysterious demon Cultivator immediately released a surge of black demonic chi, forming a cloud of black demonic mist that shrouded the entire battlefield, and resumed his fight with Hall Master Zhao within the mist. Most who cultivate the demonic path are not of kind nature, and the majority of demon cultivation techniques are extremely adept at combat. Generally, if two cultivators of equal cultivation were to conflict, unless one had a variety of extraordinary techniques and exceptional abilities, the demon cultivator would often emerge victorious. Moreover, some demon cultivators have cultivated techniques that they can release at a great cost, often resulting in life-threatening situations. Hence, Hall Master Zhao, facing the demon cultivator, remained cautious to avoid being injured, not daring to go all out. Otherwise, that mysterious demon cultivator would have likely been defeated long ago. After all, the two of them were in different stages, one at the Golden Core late stage and the other merely at the Golden Core mid stage. The gap in their cultivations was vast, not so easily bridged. However, the demon cultivator in front of them was particularly difficult to deal with, which is why the standoff had lasted for so long. When the demonic mist suddenly appeared, Hall Master Li instantly became vigilant, but upon hearing Hall Master Zhao continuing to rage ferociously within the black fog, he refrained from rushing indirectly. Even the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang was frowning at this moment. Even the motion of toying with the token in his hand had slowed down. At this moment, Lin Jing found himself captivated by the two tokens in the hands of the Black Shark Gang's young gang leader. Lin Jing recognized those tokens. They were the ones from the auction house that could control the life and death of Li Qingqing and another young girl. To save Li Qingqing, he first had to seize those two tokens. Otherwise, with the tokens in hand, Li Qingqing would certainly meet her death with a mere thought from the Black Shark Gang's young gang leader. At this time, by the side of the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, the burly man in black still stood by his side. For some reason, from beginning to end, this burly man hadn't made a move. He seemed uninterested in the ongoing battle, merely standing guard next to the young gang leader, which was quite odd. Previously, Lin Jing had observed the burly man in black several times. Although something felt off, he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Now, Lin Jing knew what was amiss. There was something too peculiar about this burly man in black. He had stood by the side of the young gang leader from the start, impervious to any distraction. It was almost as if he was a puppet. Puppet. Yes, that's it, a puppet. This burly man in black indeed gave off the impression of being a puppet, although he looked no different from a normal person. And on top of that, there was the fluctuation of cultivation at the Golden Core mid-stage emanating from him. But his reactions were not what one would expect from a cultivator. It seemed this puppet was not to be trifled with. Lin Jing then became secretly alert. If he were to take action later, he would have to be wary of this puppet. Just as Lin Jing was contemplating these thoughts, a boom suddenly erupted from the midst of the dense demonic qi, followed by a massive explosion. Then a scream. Ah! Next came a roar of anger. Damn it! A forbidden artifact, and you only use it now. The one who made this sound was none other than Hall Master Zhao. His voice set both Hall Master Li and the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang scowling. It was at this moment that the demonic qi gradually dispersed, revealing the two men inside it. Both seemed to be in a dire predicament. The mysterious demon Cultivator bore numerous wounds so deep they revealed bone, with blood steadily dripping down. At this time, the demonic qi around him had also grown much fainter. Taking advantage of the moment, he produced an elixir medicine from his body and hurriedly stuffed it into his mouth. As for Hall Master Zhao, he appeared even worse for wear. Apparently affected by the explosion of the forbidden artifact he had mentioned, his injuries were far more severe than those of the mysterious demon cultivator. There were now several cracks on his circular formation magical treasure in front of him. Clearly, it had been this magical treasure that had shielded him from most of the forbidden artifact's onslaught. At this moment, Hall Master Zhao's eyes were ablaze with fury as he stared intensely at the demon cultivator. The demon cultivator, in turn, showed no sign of weakness. "It's laughable that you think you can take me down," he said. His voice was hoarse, yet the contempt in it was unmistakable. Then, the demon cultivator addressed the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. "I said before, today you will die." Hearing these words, the young gang leader's eyes narrowed, a flicker of anger passing through them as he looked towards the mysterious demon cultivator and said, "You think you can kill me? Hall Master Li, join the fight and take him down quickly." At that moment, Hall Master Zhao spoke up. "Young gang leader, I can handle it on my own." However, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang interrupted. "Uncle Zhao, now is not the time for bravado. Uncle Li, please go." Hall Master Li nodded and replied to the young gang leader. "Yes, young gang leader." After speaking, he flew directly towards the action. Upon reaching Hall Master Zhao, Hall Master Li took out an elixir medicine and handed it to him, then said, "Old Zhao, this is not the time to be stubborn. The black kite is still out there somewhere, waiting to strike at any moment. We need to prioritize protecting the young gang leader. If anything happens to him, we won't be able to explain ourselves to the gang leader." After hearing this, Home Master Zhao paused for a moment, then nodded. "I understand." With that, he swallowed the elixir medicine. Then, he began to meditate and regulate his breathing. Meanwhile, Home Masterly directly maneuvered his flying sword, attacking the mysterious demon Cultivator. Facing this attack, the mysterious demon Cultivator quickly counterattacked with his magical treasure. However, perhaps because he was too heavily injured, this counterattack was completely ineffective against the fully capable Home Masterly. As soon as their magical treasures clashed, the demon Cultivator was overwhelmed, involuntarily spitting out a mouthful of blood and stepping back several paces. Nevertheless, even so, this person was still relentless with his words. This is the Black Shark Gang, engaging in a war of attrition even against cultivators weaker than themselves, truly deserving of the title of the most shameless faction. At this moment, Elder Zhao had also finished regulating his breathing. His eyes cold and unyielding, he fixed his gaze on the demon Cultivator, saying, "You, a demon Cultivator, dare to slander my Black Shark Gang. Today, I must make you stay." The Black Shark Gang's young gang leader, too, watched the scene unfold with a calm gaze, exuding a sense of having everything under control. In his hands, he continued to toy with 2 tokens. Seizing this opportunity, the 2 of them joined forces to attack the mysterious demon Cultivator. The demon Cultivator also began to mobilize his demonic chi to resist them. Nevertheless, against the joint assault of the 2, the demon Cultivator simply could not withstand the attacks. The moment they engaged, the demon Cultivator was sent flying back, spewing blood. Seeing the demon Cultivator injured, the 2 Golden Core late-stage Black Shark Gang Hall Masters immediately advanced to attack, while the demon Cultivator quickly retreated before turning to flee. At this moment, Hall Master Zhao spoke up, his words dripping with mockery. "What's this thinking of escaping now? Too late." With that, he charged straight at the demon Cultivator. Seeing this, the demon Cultivator increased his speed even more. Witnessing this, Hall Master Zhao grew even more complacent. "Old Li, help me catch him." After speaking, he again addressed the mysterious demon Cultivator. "Kid, you can't escape. Prepare to die." At that, Hall Master Zhao sped up, surging forward. Hall Master Li did likewise, quickening his pace in an attempt to intercept the mysterious demon Cultivator. However, just then, the mysterious demon Cultivator abruptly halted and released more demonic chi, creating a vast expanse of black demonic mist. Afterward, the demon Cultivator suddenly accelerated, flying out a great distance again. The 2 Hall Masters, suspecting trickery, quickly unleashed 2 gusty spells, dispersing the demonic mist. As soon as the mist cleared, they saw the mysterious demon Cultivator had already run quite far away. Seeing this, the 2 believed the demon Cultivator had run out of tricks and hurriedly sped up their pursuit. However, just as the 2 thought the mysterious demon Cultivator was going to continue to flee, he suddenly stopped, then turned around to face them. Lin Jing was also observing the situation at hand. However, Lin Jing was well aware. In front of the mysterious demon Cultivator lay the formation that he, Lin Jing, had previously set up well in advance. It appears that the mysterious demon Cultivator was using himself as bait to lure the 2 into a trap. The 2 Hall Masters, seemingly oblivious, charged straight at the mysterious demon Cultivator. Seeing this, Lin Jing knew his opportunity had arrived. Then, Lin Jing instructed Little Sparrow, before directly entering the system space from within the Shadow Escape flying boat. After entering the system space, Lin Jing promptly called out to the system. "System, use the fixed-point teleportation feature." Immediately after, Lin Jing's perspective shifted, and he once again saw the outside scene. Although Lin Jing could leave the flying boat and attack. But as soon as Lin Jing opened the door of the boat, the flying boat's invisibility feature would instantly fail. Then, with a huge flying boat appearing here, anyone could clearly sense it. That would not be suitable for a surprise attack. And Lin Jing had chosen this approach to strike unexpectedly, snatching the token controlling Li Qingqing's life from the hands of the Black Shark Gang's young gang leader. The location for Lin Jing's fixed-point teleportation was already chosen. He just needed to wait for the formation to reveal itself and capture the attention of the Black Shark Gang's young gang leader before making his move. When the two Hall Masters saw the demon Cultivator stop, initially, they were confused for a moment, but then they noticed several formation tokens being drawn from beneath the wide black robe of the demon Cultivator. The two instantly realized something was amiss. Hall Master Zhao quickly spoke. "Be careful. There's trickery afoot in this place." Hall Master Li, having also observed this, immediately accelerated, trying to intercept the mysterious demon Cultivator. However, by then it was already too late. The mysterious demon Cultivator snorted coldly and proceeded to scatter the several formation tokens from his hand. As the tokens were released, the entire formation abruptly became visible. The formation was indeed vast, quickly enveloping the two Black Shark Gang Hall Masters within it. The moment the formation was established, the entire area was filled with an impenetrable white mist, obscuring any view of the interior of the formation. Clearly, this formation was a trap specifically designed to ensnare cultivators. The same moment the formation appeared, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang ceased fidgeting with the tokens, furrowing his brow as he gazed toward the formation. Clearly, at this moment, his focus was entirely drawn by the formation. Aside from the black-clad strong man beside him, who continued as usual to silently stand guard beside the young gang leader, he paid no mind to the appearance of the formation. And at that moment, Lin Jing made his move. He began the fixed-point teleportation. Lin Jing had already been holding the soaring ancient sword, acquired in a prior trading session, in his hand since earlier. Following that, Lin Jing appeared directly beside the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, and in the moment he appeared, Lin Jing swung his sword. Then, a spurt of fresh blood burst forth, followed by a severed arm flying into the air. To prevent any magical treasures on this person's body from protecting him, Lin Jing's sword strike didn't sever the entire arm, but only the forearm. However, this was just perfect. After that, a scream rang out. "Ah!" As the scream sounded, the black-clothed strong man's fist was already on its way to Lin Jing. This black-clothed strong man's reaction couldn't be called slow. From Lin Jing's appearance to the swing of his sword, it was only an instant, but the strong man's fist had already struck. Lin Jing didn't have time to worry about anything else at the moment, hurriedly grabbing the young gang leader's arm and then directly storing it away. At this time, the two tokens were still clutched in the severed arm, and on the fingers of that arm, there was even a space ring. Now, with time of the essence, Lin Jing had no time to remove the space ring or the tokens. So, he simply tossed the severed arm into the storage bag. Seeing the black-clothed strong man's fist coming, Lin Jing quickly used his sword to block. However, the moment the fist made contact, Lin Jing instantly felt an enormous force attack him. This black-clothed strong man was actually a body refinement puppet. In his haste, Lin Jing barely managed to block and was pushed back a good distance by the strong man. Just then, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang finally reacted. His anger surged, and with a sinister gaze, he stared at Lin Jing and said, "Dare to ambush me, black slave, kill him." The black-clothed strong man, hearing the young gang leader's words, wasted no time and directly attacked Lin Jing. And Lin Jing, also putting away the soaring ancient sword, raised his fist to meet his assailant head-on. The toughness of the soaring ancient sword was sufficient against the young gang leader, but it was not very effective against this body refinement puppet. It was better for Lin Jing to engage in direct combat. With a boom, Lin Jing and the black slave collided fist against fist. A violent disturbance ensued. Both were staggered back a few steps. Lin Jing hadn't expected that the body of this puppet would be so hard. He felt his whole arm go numb from the shock. However, Even more astonished was the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. Others might not know, but he was very much aware. The black slave that had always protected him was forged with a secret technique, and it consumed many rare materials, especially the strength of the puppet's body, which could even compete with a body refinement cultivator at the Golden Core late stage, without falling behind. Now, there was a body refinement cultivator at the Golden Core early stage who could match his puppet evenly. How could he not be shocked? At this moment, the puppet seemed unscathed, charging toward Lin Jing once again. And Lin Jing, activating his overlord divine physique, covered himself in a layer of golden light as he charged toward the puppet as well. Very quickly, the man and the puppet were locked in combat. Meanwhile, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang looked at Lin Jing with a venomous glare. This man dared to sever his arm, and he vowed to tear him to shreds, no matter what. However, just as the young gang leader was about to take out a magical treasure to aid the puppet, another person arrived, interrupting him. This person was the mysterious demon Cultivator. Although the mysterious demon Cultivator was seriously injured, the demonic chi on his body became even denser. "I said, I will kill you," he said, as he hurried over. However, upon seeing the mysterious demon Cultivator flying over, the young gang leader quickly looked in the direction of the two hall masters of the Black Shark Gang. He saw that area was covered by a formation, and within the formation, the roars of the two hall masters could be heard. "Despicable wretch, once we get out, we will crush you into thousands of pieces." Clearly, the mysterious demon Cultivator had succeeded. He had trapped the two hall masters of the Black Shark Gang with a trick. Now, seeing that the mysterious demon Cultivator approaching, the young gang leader's gaze turned cold, and then he looked towards Qingqing, not far away, and said, "Don't think I don't know your intentions. You're just after this woman. I'll kill her now." The young gang leader could no longer care about Lin Jing at this point. He stretched out his other hand, reaching out to grab Qingqing. Since the mysterious demon Cultivator was still some distance away and couldn't reach them in time, he could only bellow, "You dare! If you touch her, I will refine your bones and extract your marrow, making you beg for life and death." And Qingqing, who was sealed throughout, couldn't dodge at all. With a mere stretch of his hand, the young gang leader had her in his grasp. Even in such a situation, Qingqing's eyes showed no fear, only puzzlement as she looked at the mysterious demon Cultivator rushing toward her. She wondered why this person was so concerned about her. Then, the young gang leader kept a close eye on the mysterious demon Cultivator as his hand changed from a grab into a palm, preparing to strike down on Qingqing's head. The mysterious demon Cultivator let out a fierce roar. "Bastard!" Then he quickened his pace, rushing over here. As for Qingqing, perhaps knowing that her death was inevitable, she seemed to accept her fate. She wasn't afraid, but looked at the deeply concerned, mysterious demon Cultivator and flashed a smile. In such a dire situation, her smile appeared so tragically beautiful. Following that, Qingqing closed her eyes, ready to accept her destiny. This scene made the rapidly approaching mysterious demon Cultivator even more anxious, and he couldn't help but let out a furious roar. "Ah, damn it!" In contrast, seeing the mysterious demon Cultivator's reaction, the young gang leader knew he had guessed right, and thus burst into loud laughter. "Ha ha!" Right after that, with a menacing look in his eyes, his palm moved directly toward Qingqing's head. But just at this critical moment, a figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere in front of a young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. The young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang instantly widened his eyes in shock, his face filled with astonishment, and his whole person froze. After this figure appeared, without saying a word, he directly threw a punch. The young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang hadn't even had the chance to react before he was sent flying by that punch. Seeing the palm of the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang descending, Qingqing had thought she was undoubtedly going to die, and was closing her eyes, waiting for death. However, she suddenly felt something was off, and before she could even open her eyes, she felt a strong arm wrap around her slender waist, lifting her up. and the anticipated pain did not come. Qingqing then opened her eyes, only to see a pale-faced young man she did not recognize. At the moment, there was a trace of blood at the corner of the young man's mouth. Clearly, he had been injured. The one who had just saved Qingqing was, naturally, Lin Jing. Lin Jing, who had been entangled with the puppet black slave, saw that Qingqing's life was hanging by a thread. Having no choice, he took a hit from the puppet, and then activated his speed to the utmost, instantly appearing beside Qingqing, blasting the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang away and saving her. Qingqing looked up, puzzled at this stranger who had saved her, not understanding why he had rescued her, because she did not recognize him. Yet it was this stranger she did not know who had, in the attempt to save her, been injured. At this time, Lin Jing was only paying attention to the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang whom he had sent flying, with no time to spare for Qingqing. Even that mysterious demon cultivator was stunned for a moment. He had clearly seen that to save Qingqing, Lin Jing had taken a direct hit from the puppet, and he himself had sustained serious injuries. Actually, the mysterious demon cultivator had noticed Lin Jing as soon as he appeared. However, Lin Jing's appearance and aura, as well as his cultivation level, were all unfamiliar to him. He had thought that perhaps Lin Jing bore a grudge against the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, or maybe he wanted to rescue another girl who had been auctioned off. That's why he had made a move against the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. But he never expected that this person would take a hit from the puppet to save Qingqing. At that moment, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang had just steadied himself. Standing at a distance, he looked at that mysterious demon cultivator and Lin Jing, his gaze dark and gloomy, and said, "Good, very good. I didn't expect you two to be in cahoots. You've played a good act, managing to deceive even me. But do you think this is enough to kill me? You're too naive." Having said that, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang directly pulled out a jade pendant from around his neck and, without any hesitation, crushed it. At the instant the jade pendant was crushed, a beam of light suddenly emanated from behind the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. The beam of light surged towards the sky, and at the same time, a voice as loud as a bell and incredibly domineering echoed between heaven and earth. "Who dares to lay a hand on my child?" In the blink of an eye, the beam of light transformed into a huge humanoid silhouette. This figure looked incredibly dominant, and its presence was astounding. Even when facing this figure, Lin Jing could feel the terrifying pressure emanating from it. Seeing this, Lin Jing hurriedly circulated his spiritual power to resist the frightening pressure. The puppet black slave, which had intended to charge forward, also fell into a stupor upon the appearance of the silhouette. Apart from the puppet, Qingqing felt even more pressure, her face turning pale and nearly unable to catch her breath, completely drained of strength and hanging limply in Lin Jing's arm. Besides Qingqing, another girl who had been auctioned off had directly fainted. Luckily, the bulrush fan magical treasure beneath their feet was still floating on the sea surface. Otherwise, the girl would have likely fallen into the sea by now. Seeing this, Lin Jing quickly used his spiritual power to protect Qingqing. Her complexion finally seemed to improve. Then, Lin Jing gathered a strand of spiritual power and channeled it into the body of that girl. If he hadn't done so, the girl probably would not have survived. This huge figure appeared to be merely a divine sense. However, the true cultivation of this person must be extraordinary. Lin Jing estimated that at the very least, this person was a divinity transformation stage cultivator. Plus, considering what he just said, if nothing unexpected happened, this person should be the gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. Faced with such a ferocious aura, not only was Lin Jing deeply worried, but even the mysterious demon cultivator was on high alert. At that moment, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang quickly spoke up. "Father, save me." The silhouette looked at the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang and then said, "Cheer, wait. Your father's real body is already aware of everything here and is on his way." However, facing this silhouette, the mysterious demon cultivator brazenly launched a spell and attacked the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. At the same time, the demon cultivator said to Lin Jing, "Don't be intimidated by him. This is just a separate spirit of a divinity transformation cultivator. It can't actually attack us." But as the black spell approached, it was blocked by a hand from the separate spirit. And then that divided spirit said, "It seems you know quite a bit. Indeed, I can attack, but how could anyone I protect be harmed by you?" As he spoke, the shadowy figure transformed directly into a golden pillar of light that soared to the sky, enveloping the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang within it. Seeing this, the mysterious demon cultivator launched several spells in rapid succession. However, they were utterly unable to penetrate the pillar of light, let alone harm the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. At this point, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang became even more arrogant. "Haha, thinking you can break through a barrier set by a divine transformation cultivator. You are far too naive. Just wait. My father will be here soon, and then not one of you will be able to escape." Although the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang was so bold, he didn't dare step out of the range of the light pillar. The magical barrier could only protect him within that area. If he left the range of this defensive barrier, confronting Lin Jing and the mysterious demon cultivator, his death would be certain. Lin Jing saw that the mysterious demon cultivator, regardless of his own injuries, was continuously casting spells, trying in vain to attack the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang. Yet it was all for naught. Lin Jing's brows slightly furrowed, and then he turned to the mysterious demon cultivator and said, "Fellow Taoist, stop wasting your spiritual power. It's useless." It wasn't until then that the mysterious demon cultivator stopped. However, he still faced the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, though his facial expression was not visible. But Lin Jing could still clearly sense his raging, suppressed anger. Just then, as Lin Jing observed the arrogantly behaving young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang inside the golden light pillar, he said, "Fellow Taoist, I need your help." The mysterious demon cultivator turned his head, looked towards Lin Jing, and then said, "Speak." Lin Jing then spoke. "Please use the demonic mist to temporarily obstruct his vision. I can lead us out." After hearing this, the mysterious demon cultivator didn't say much. Instead, he waved his hand, and a vast expanse of demonic mist surged out, coating the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang within the light pillar. Faced with this situation, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang knew they were trying to leave, but he dared not leave the range of the light pillar carelessly. Thus, he quickly ordered the puppet Black Slave still outside. "Black Slave, hold him back." Upon the young gang leader's command, the puppet, which had been motionless until now, seemed to be reactivated and once again focused on Lin Jing. And it charged straight out toward Lin Jing. Seeing this, Lin Jing quickly let go of Qingqing, preparing to confront the attacker. However, at that moment, a stream of black demonic qi surged ahead of Lin Jing and directly entered the puppet's body. The moment the demonic qi rushed in, the puppet seemed to have its energy completely drained. It closed its eyes and stood there motionless. By this time, the mysterious demon cultivator had also arrived. He directly said to Lin Jing, "This puppet is quite powerful, but its weakness is also very obvious. With the right method, you can control it without expending much effort." Following that, the mysterious demon cultivator waved his hand and took the puppet. He first turned to glance at Qingqing, who was now unharmed, then turned back to Lin Jing and said, "I want to know who you are, and why you want to save her." At this time, the demon cultivator's face was still shrouded in black mist, yet within the veil of darkness, two faint red glows could be distinctly seen. In response, Lin Jing replied similarly, "I have the same question. Who are you exactly, and why do you want to save her?" After speaking, Lin Jing continued, "However, now is not the time to talk. We should leave this place first. Otherwise, once the Black Shark Gang leader arrives, none of us will be able to escape." The mysterious demon cultivator nodded, and then said no more. At this moment, the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, must have realized that the puppet black slave had been subdued by the group, so he began to threaten. Do you really think you can escape? The methods of a divine transformation cultivator are not within your comprehension. Both of you are doomed. Aside from the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang, the two hall masters who were trapped in the formation were still roaring in rage within it. Perhaps it was because the formation confined their divine sense. They still had no idea what was happening on the outside. However, Lin Jing and the other didn't pay any attention to them. Just then, the mysterious demon Cultivator spoke up again. How do you plan to lead us out of here? Lin Jing said. Just follow me. With that, Lin Jing approached Qingqing, ready to pick her up. Meanwhile, Lin Jing spoke and glanced towards the other girl who had been auctioned, saying to the mysterious demon Cultivator, "You take her and follow me." However, the mysterious demon Cultivator was one step ahead and had already picked up Qingqing. Then he extended his hand, pointed towards the other auction girl, and said to Lin Jing, "She's your responsibility." Lin Jing turned and looked at the still unconscious girl and was momentarily at a loss for words. But seeing how anxious the mysterious demon Cultivator was about Qingqing, Lin Jing decided to concede. Actually, Lin Jing sometimes wondered. This mysterious demon Cultivator might be someone he knew, but the purely demonic techniques he wielded dispelled Lin Jing's speculation. Although one could hide their cultivation aura, such demonic techniques cannot be simply disguised or easily cultivated. Moreover, Lin Jing did not know any demon cultivators. Of course, Qingqing might know him. After all, it had been many years since he last saw Qingqing, who might have made some new friends. And this mysterious demon cultivator was so anxious about Qingqing. Clearly, their relationship was not ordinary. Afterward, Lin Jing picked up another girl being auctioned and prepared to leave. However, Lin Jing paused as he looked at a bulrush, fan-like magical treasure at his feet. Then with a wave of his hand, he directly took the magical treasure as well. After all, this magical treasure should also be quite valuable. Even if he couldn't use it himself, selling it to the Seven Seas Hall could make him a profit. After collecting the bulrush fan magical treasure, Lin Jing chanted a spell, and a huge flying boat appeared in front of them. The appearance of this flying boat surprised the mysterious demon Cultivator. The location of the flying boat was not very far from them, but even at such close proximity, they had not noticed anything unusual. Then, they approached the flying boat. Lin Jing chanted another spell, and the cabin door of the flying boat opened directly. As soon as the cabin door opened, a dark shadow flew out. In an instant upon seeing the dark shadow, the mysterious demon Cultivator paused, and two words burst out. "Little Sparrow." Hearing the voice, Little Sparrow immediately stopped, then flew in front of the mysterious demon Cultivator, playfully bumping him with her head. Clearly, this person knew Little Sparrow. At this moment, Qingqing, who was in the arms of the mysterious demon Cultivator, also froze, and then tears instantly welled up. The mysterious demon Cultivator extended a hand to gently wipe her tears away. However, at this moment, Qingqing's tears overflowed uncontrollably, no matter how much they were wiped away. Just then, Lin Jing suddenly had a bad premonition. He looked towards the horizon in the direction of Black Shark Island, furrowing his brows. He then said to everyone, "We should leave now. The Black Shark Gang leader could arrive at any moment." Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, the mysterious demon Cultivator no longer delayed and hurriedly boarded the flying boat. Lin Jing followed closely behind, carrying the other girl into the flying boat. The interior of the shadow escape flying boat was quite spacious, allowing several people inside to still feel quite roomy. At this moment, Lin Jing had no time to pay attention to these details. He took out a new superior grade spirit stone and replaced the half-depleted spirit stone on the flying boat with it. Then, he directly controlled the flying boat. With a swoosh, it shot into the sky. Simultaneously, the invisibility feature of the shadow escape flying boat fully activated, instantly vanishing into the azure sky. After disappearing into the sky, the flying boat began to fly steadily. At this point, the mysterious demon Cultivator asked Lin Jing, "Can this flying boat evade the pursuit of a divinity transformation cultivator?" Lin Jing said, "The invisibility function of this flying boat can evade the divine sense search of a divinity transformation cultivator, and its speed is also not slow. It should be able to avoid the pursuit of the Black Shark Gang leader." After hearing this, the mysterious demon Cultivator nodded. Meanwhile, Little Sparrow was hovering around Li Qingqing, nudging her with its head, and said, "Qingqing, speak." However, the seal on Li Qingqing's body was still unbroken at that moment, preventing her from speaking. Seeing this, Lin Jing directly took out the severed arm of the young gang leader of the Black Shark Gang from his storage bag. Then he retrieved 2 tokens from it. Upon seeing these tokens, the mysterious demon cultivator extended his hand, snatched them from Lin Jing, and without any hesitation, immediately crushed them in his hand. Clearly, he did not want to wait any longer and wanted to quickly remove the seals on Li Qingqing's body. As the 2 tokens were crushed, countless formation patterns appeared on Li Qingqing and the other girls' bodies. Then after flashing for a while, they gradually faded and finally vanished. After these formation patterns disappeared, the seals on Li Qingqing's body were lifted, and even her cultivation was restored. Once her cultivation was restored, Li Qingqing grabbed the arm of the mysterious demon cultivator, and with tears streaming down her face, she cried out, "Brother!" Li Qingqing's shout made Lin Jing pause. Li Qingqing's brother. Who else could it be but Li Tangyu? Could this mysterious demon cultivator be Li Tangyu? At that moment, the mysterious demon cultivator took off the long robe he was wearing, and simultaneously, the black mist that had always covered his face also disappeared. Instantly, that familiar yet somewhat strange face once again appeared before Lin Jing. This demon cultivator was indeed Li Tangyu. However, the current Li Tangyu, compared to before, was completely different. A horrifying scar, beginning from above and winding down, crossed his entire face. It looked extremely terrifying. His gaze was no longer as gentle and pure as before. Instead, it had become extremely cold. Plus, the dense demonic qi around him made it impossible for Lin Jing to associate him with the Li Tangyu from before. However, when Li Tangyu looked at Li Qingqing, he still showed that gentle and concerned expression. Perhaps at this moment, he was truly Li Tangyu. At this time, tears streaked down Li Qingqing's face as they continuously dripped, completely soaking her garment. However, Li Qingqing did not seem to notice. Her hand reached out, gently caressing the scar on Li Tangyu's face, her voice trembling uncontrollably. "Brother, what on earth happened to you? How did you end up like this?" Li Qingqing felt immense heartache, reminiscing her brother who once was a gentle and refined young master of a prominent family, the dream lover of countless young girls. But now, he had transformed into the person before her eyes. One couldn't help but wonder what kind of ordeal he had gone through to have changed so drastically to his current state. However, Li Tangyu's gaze was tender as he looked at Li Qingqing, and with a gentle hand, he wiped away her tears. "It's okay now, Qingqing. As long as you're fine, everything is all right." Upon hearing this, Li Qingqing couldn't help herself and directly hugged Li Tangyu. "Brother." At that moment, Li Qingqing laid on Li Tangyu's body and cried heartily. In that moment, she once again became the carefree little girl loved by her brother. Meanwhile, Lin Jing watched all this with a smile, silently observing. After a while, Li Qingqing finished venting and, with red eyes, detached from Li Tangyu. At that moment, Li Tangyu gently petted Little Sparrow, which had just landed on Li Qingqing's shoulder, and then turned to look at Lin Jing. "Even Little Sparrow recognizes you. We must know each other. So who are you exactly?" Seeing this, Lin Jing no longer hid his identity. He dispelled his disguise and then, with a smile, said to both Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing, "Brother Li Qingqing, it's been a long time." Upon seeing Lin Jing, Tangyu was instantly surprised and then smiled as he said, "Brother Lin, I thought it might be Zhang Yuan, or perhaps some other elder, but I never expected it would be you. Your cultivation has far exceeded my expectations." Differently from Tangyu, Qingqing stared at Lin Jing in disbelief for a moment, then rushed excitedly to him and hugged him tightly. "Brother Lin Jing, I thought you were gone. You, Sister Qingqing, and Zhang Yuan, even Elder Bai and Elder Yu." Shortly after entering the demon race secret realm, the news came that the Howling Sky Wolf clan had occupied the realm. Many people did not make it out. "I thought that you all..." As Qingqing spoke, she couldn't hold back and started to cry. "You don't understand. When brother left, all of you disappeared too, leaving me all alone. You cannot imagine how painful that felt. Knowing now that you all are safe, it truly is wonderful." After a moment, Qingqing released Lin Jing, tears lingering at her eyes, but soon breaking into a smile. "Brother Lin Jing, you are still just like before, unchanged." Lin Jing smiled softly, gently rubbing Qingqing's head, then said, "I haven't changed, Qingqing, but you've grown up a lot." Qingqing nodded, then wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes, and said, "Since you all left, it's been many years. Everything has changed. Even Nanshan Immortal City is no more. It's become the territory of the Howling Sky Wolf clan. And almost the entire Nanming domain has fallen. And we, the people, had no choice but to flee into the demonic monster sea." At that moment, Tangyu suddenly spoke, asking Qingqing, "Qingqing, has the Nanming domain completely fallen?" Qingqing shook her head, saying, "Not completely, but it's nearly so. After the Howling Sky Wolf clan invaded the Nanming domain, they captured most of the region. Most of the cultivators from the Nanming domain followed the three major sects to move to the remaining areas, led by these sects, resisting the Howling Sky Wolf clan. Others, like us, were forced to wander into this demonic monster sea." Tangyu furrowed his brows, nodded, and then asked Lin Jing, "I heard some of this about the Nanming domain earlier, Brother Lin. Were you also inside the demon race secret realm at the time?" Lin Jing nodded, saying, "Yes." Then, Qingqing also spoke up, adding, "Brother Lin Jing, since you were fine, what about Sister Qingqing? And Zhang Yuan, Elder Bai Elder Yu, and even the Zhang family patriarch and Wukai Immortal were together at that accident and disappeared. Where are they? Where did they go?" Faced with Qingqing's question, Lin Jing was unsure how to respond, so he simply said, "That matter, it's rather complicated. Once we're safe, I'll explain it all to you. And I also want to know about your situations, especially brotherly, why you have changed what you are now." Tangyu also nodded, saying, "Indeed, we still have to face the pursuit of the Black Shark Gang leader. We really need to find a place to hide and get through this tough time." Having said this, Tangyu turned his head to look at another person on the flying boat, the other girl who had been auctioned. At this moment, the restrictions on the girl had been lifted, but she was still unconscious. Tangyu, frowning at the girl, asked, "What should we do with her? Shall we take her with us? Wouldn't taking her expose our tracks?" At this time, Qingqing hurriedly spoke up to explain, "This is Han Bingyan. Before this, we were locked up together. I spoke with her, and she is from the Ice God Palace. She was also captured by the Black Shark Gang. She is very pitiable. Let's take her with us. If we recklessly abandon her, she will surely not escape the clutches of the Black Shark Gang." Ice God Palace. Tangyu frowned, and then turned to ask Lin Jing, "Brother Lin, have you heard of the Ice God Palace?" Lin Jing pondered for a moment, shook his head, and said, "No, it may be some obscure sect." Tangyu nodded and said, "Perhaps, as long as she poses no harm to us." Tangyu's gaze softened, and looking at Qingqing, he said, "All right, then we'll take her." Lin Jing also nodded in agreement following that. Next, Tangyu asked Lin Jing, "Brother Lin, have you thought of how we can evade the pursuit of the Black Shark Gang leader?" At this moment, Qingqing also frowned and said, "Yep, those people from the Black Shark Gang surely won't let us off, will they?" Lin Jing faced the two and began to speak. "I have a small island in the Thousand Islands domain, where I can temporarily shelter you. There shouldn't be any problems." Having finished speaking, Lin Jing looked toward Li Qingqing and the unconscious Han Bingyan and said again, "However, if the Black Shark gang can't find us, they will definitely search for clues using these two. Therefore, after we reach the island, these two must avoid contact with outsiders." Li Tangyu frowned and thought for a moment, then said, "That seems to be the only way for now." Li Qingqing quickly spoke up to agree. "It's all right. We can stay inside." Soon after, Lin Jing led the group, flying toward the island he had agreed upon with Lin Ju. The shadow escape flying boat, at full speed, was extremely fast. In merely an hour, they arrived at the island. Before reaching the island, Lin Jing spotted Lin Ju and Yi Yun waiting there. Then, Lin Jing spoke to Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing. "Let's stop here for a moment. I need to pick up two people." Li Tangyu, looking at Lin Jing, frowned and asked, "Pick up someone? Are those two reliable?" Lin Jing nodded. "I knew these two before. They are two unfortunate youngsters. It was because I learned that they were sold to Black Xing Island that I chased after them. If not for them, I probably would never have known that Qingqing was here." Hearing Lin Jing say this, Li Tangyu's expression eased a lot, and then he said to Lin Jing, "All right, then let's bring them aboard, so we can quickly leave." Lin Jing nodded, then steered the flying boat to a stop on the island. He opened the hatch and stepped out. The shadow escape flying boat became visible as it descended. Lin Ju and Yi Yun, seeing the flying boat, knew that Lin Jing had arrived. They hurriedly ran over. At that moment, Lin Jing had just opened the hatch and came down. Lin Jing, seeing the two, beckoned and said, "Lin Ju, Yi Yun, come quickly." The two promptly responded, "Yes, senior." Then the two followed Lin Jing onto the flying boat. When they saw the two people inside the flying boat, the first thing they noticed was Li Tangyu, who was covered in demonic qi. The two hesitated for a second, appearing somewhat afraid, and involuntarily took a step back. At that point, Lin Jing had closed the hatch and was already piloting the flying boat again, without the time to deal with the two of them. Just then, Lin Ju caught sight of Li Qingqing near him. He exclaimed in surprise, "Sister Li." Then, he turned his head to Lin Jing in astonishment and said, "Sister Li, you know the senior?" Li Qingqing, wearing a smile, looked at Lin Ju in front of her and said, "So you're the person Brother Lin was talking about." At this point, Lin Jing had already split off a wisp of his divine sense to control the flying boat. He himself turned around to face the two and said, "What? Do you two know each other?" Lin Ju blushed slightly and said, "Yes, senior. When I was first sold to the auction house, I found it hard to bear, but it was Sister Li who kept comforting me, allowing me to persist. However, for some reason, Sister Li was taken away by them later on and was confined alone. I originally thought we would never see each other again. I never expected to see Sister Li here." Afterward, Lin Ju said to Li Qingqing, "Sister Li, I'm really thankful to you. If it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't have been able to hold on until the Elder's arrival, and I would have already collapsed." Li Qingqing then comforted her. "There's no need to thank me. Actually, you're already doing great. Had I been your age and faced this situation, I definitely wouldn't have done as well as you." Li Qingqing was right in saying this. At that age, she was just a little girl who followed behind Li Tan. Even Li Tan was still an unassuming gentleman back then. Several years have passed since then, and each person has undergone more or less some changes. Sometimes, one can't help but lament that fate is truly cruel. Subsequently, Lin Jing piloted the flying boat and finally returned to Li Yan Island on the second day. There weren't any accidents along the way. It seems the Black Shark Gang leader wouldn't be able to search that fast. After returning to Li Yan Island, Lin Jing directly piloted the flying boat, passing through the defensive formation and headed to the northern part of Li Yan Island. This northern part of Li Yan Island could be said to be Lin Jing's own territory, where no one could enter without Lin Jing's permission. Of course, usually no one would come here, except for Yu Qi, who would occasionally come here to report to Lin Jing about the situation on the island. Then, Lin Jing piloted the flying boat and stopped near his alchemy room. Afterward, the cabin door opened, and several people descended from the flying boat. When everyone was down, with a single thought from Lin Jing, he shrank the flying boat and put it away. Then, Lin Jing said to them, "This is where I normally live. Generally, no one will come to disturb us here. For this period, you few can stay here. However, since we will be staying here longer this time, I will build separate dwellings for you all after waiting a little while longer." Lin Jing's alchemy room wasn't just a single room for alchemy. It was a whole set of houses including a residence, fully furnished, situated atop the highest peak in the northern part of Lian Island. And the dwelling was also protected by a formation arranged by Hala Three Rivers. Next, Lin Jing took out a token from his storage bag to open the protective formation around his residence. Then he led everyone inside. By this time, Han Bingyan had also fully awakened and was walking with the group. Han Bingyan wasn't very old. In fact, she was a year younger than Lin Ju. Moreover, she was extremely beautiful, with fair skin, bright eyes, and white teeth, her entire being akin to carved ice and jade. However, she was quite shy and usually didn't talk much. When she first awoke, merely expressing gratitude to Lin Jing and the others had already made her face turn red to the tips of her ears. Therefore, since waking up, she hadn't talked much, simply quietly listening to Lin Jing and the others talk. After arriving at Lin Jing's residence, Lin Jing immediately let Han Bingyan, Lin Ju, and Yin take a break first, and he, along with Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing, retreated into the inner chamber together. Even Little Sparrow was temporarily left outside. It had been such a long time since Lin Jing and his companions had seen each other. There was so much they wanted to talk about. After the three entered the room, Lin Jing took out the tea leaves he had stored there and brewed a pot of tea. These tea leaves had been prepared by Auntie Yu Qi for him, and they were all spiritual tea. While Lin Jing was brewing the tea, Li Tangyu looked at Li Qingqing with a worried gaze and asked, "How did you come here alone? Where's grandfather?" Li Qingqing's eyes lowered. She choked up a bit and said, "Originally, the Howling Sky Wolf clan attacked Nanshan Immortal City. Grandfather led our clan to retreat, but unluckily we encountered the Howling Sky Wolf clan. To protect the rest of the clan, grandfather." Li Qingqing did not continue, but Li Tangyu had already understood what she meant. Then, Li Tangyu fell silent for a long time. After a while, Li Tangyu finally spoke. "In truth, ever since I saw you in Blackshing Island, I had guessed some of it. It's just, without hearing the truth from you, I still held onto some hope. Perhaps it was just an accident, and you were taken by them. Grandfather and the others, they must still be desperately searching for you. After all, grandfather cherishes you so much. How could he willingly let his most beloved granddaughter end up in such a place?" As he spoke, Li Tangyu's head tilted downward, obscuring his current expression. Then, plip, plip, 2 teardrops fell to the floor at Li Tangyu's feet. At that moment, Li Qingqing also spoke with a choked voice. "In the final moments, grandfather told me to be strong and to find you at all costs. Be strong, I've done that. And now I've found you. Thinking about it, grandfather would surely be very happy if he knew." Li Tangyu then lifted his head, and Lin Jing could clearly see the traces of tears on his cheeks. Li Tangyu ruffled Li Qingqing's head and said, "Qingqing, you indeed are very strong, I saw it." Following that, Li Tangyu spoke again. "Can you tell me what happened afterward?" Li Qingqing nodded and then said, "When we were retreating from Nanshan Immortal City, we were attacked by the Howling Sky Wolf clan. And it wasn't just us. Many other families were also with us, all retreating together. When the Howling Sky Wolf clan attacked, to pave a way for the clan to escape, grandfather and the other Golden Core mortals took the initiative to intercept the Howling Sky Wolf clan. But the forces sent by the Howling Sky Wolf clan were just too strong, led by a nascent soul, true monarch. Grandfather and many family Golden Core mortals couldn't even hold out for a quarter hour before they were defeated, and that was when grandfather perished. After they fell, those demon cultivators from the Howling Sky Wolf clan charged at us, throwing everything into chaos in an instant. We didn't even have a sliver of resistance. Uncle Tu, the steward from Elixir Pavilion, Elder Jean, and many others also tried to fight back, but it was futile. The Howling Sky Wolf clan was just too powerful. Those golden core cultivators from the Howling Sky Wolf clan shattered our ranks with just one strike, some even dying on the spot. Originally, I had thought myself certainly doomed to die, but just then, support from the three major sects arrived. That's why I survived. Lin Jing looked at Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing, feeling somewhat nostalgic. The two of them had been raised by their grandfather since they were very young, sharing a deep bond with him, much like Lin Jing had with his own grandfather. Now, their grandfather too had passed away, leaving behind just the two siblings. After listening to Li Qingqing's recount, Li Tangyu gazed into the distance, his eyes unfocused, as if reminiscing about something. A moment later, Li Tangyu turned back to Li Qingqing and continued to ask, "Then what happened? How did you get here?" Li Qingqing replied, "After we were rescued, we were taken to the stronghold of the three major sects, where we lived for less than half a year before the Howling Sky Wolf clan attacked again. Thus, the three major sects arranged for us to evacuate and brought us to this demonic monster sea. After arriving at the demonic monster sea, I knew that you, brother, said you were heading to the Eastern Spirit Realm, and you would definitely pass through this sea. I wanted to find you, so I left the group alone and set out to look for you. And so Little Sparrow and I have been drifting in the demonic monster sea for several years, until not long ago, when I was captured by the Black Shark Gang and met you all." Li Tangyu looked at Li Qingqing with an expression of distress on his face. "How could you be so foolish? The demonic monster sea is so complex. How could you just barge in?" Nevertheless, Li Qingqing smiled and said, "Although I faced some setbacks, the outcome was good. Not only did I meet you, brother, but I also met Brother Lin Jing. Seeing you both, I'm truly happy." With that said, Li Qingqing turned her gaze to Lin Jing. "Brother Lin Jing, what exactly happened when you went into the Demon Race Secret Realm?" "When the Demon Race Secret Realm was in chaos, not many people escaped, and I thought you were gone in there too. How did you escape? In your cultivation, you were only in the Qi refinement realm originally, but now you've become a golden core immortal. How did you do it?" Li Qingqing looked at Lin Jing with a series of questions. At this moment, Li Tangyu also turned to Lin Jing, saying, "Yes, when I left back then, Brother Lin, you should have been at the 9th level of Qi refinement, right? How did you advance to the golden core stage so quickly?" Lin Jing then offered a wry smile and said, "About my cultivation level, I've actually been hiding it from you since the beginning." Li Qingqing looked at Lin Jing with a puzzled expression and said, "Could it be that you were already a golden core immortal back then, Brother Lin Jing?" Li Tangyu looked at Lin Jing just as puzzled. Lin Jing shook his head and explained, "In fact, my cultivation level was indeed not high at the beginning, and most of the time, it was between Qingqing and Qingling. However, I had consumed many pure elixirs while cultivating, which greatly accelerated my practice. To cover up the abnormal speed of my cultivation, I've been hiding my true level all this time." Now, facing Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing again, there was no longer a need for those past concealments, and so Lin Jing decided to reveal everything. Of course, except for the matter of the system space. The system space was his greatest secret, which he couldn't share with anyone, no matter who they were. After hearing this, Li Qingqing then expressed her doubts. "Pure elixirs. Where did you get so many pure elixirs? Could it be that you bought them from the Elixir Valley Air?" But the elixirs from the Elixir Valley Air are also very limited, and besides, there's so many people fighting over them. Li Tangyu, as if he had realized something, looked at Lin Jing with gleaming eyes. "The Elixir Valley Air hasn't been around for very long. And, Brother Lin, you came to Nanshan Market around that same time." At this point, Li Qingqing suddenly had an epiphany and said, "Brother Lin Jing, could it be that Elixir Valley Air is you?" Lin Jing looked at them and then nodded. "Yes, that Elixir Valley Air was indeed an identity, I assumed." Li Qingqing, extremely surprised, responded, I never imagined that the Elixir Valley heir would be you. Brother Lin Jing. Brother Lin Jing. How were you able to refine so many pure elixirs? Li Tangyu seemed to understand, and thus, he spoke to Li Qingqing. Do you remember the rumor about the Elixir Valley heir that was spread before? Li Qingqing thought for a moment, and then nodded. Of course I remember. It said that Elixir Valley might have inherited the ancient alchemy path of an ancient alchemy family. That's why their elixir production rate of pure elixirs is much higher than other alchemists. Li Tangyu nodded and said, right, the alchemy techniques of the ancient alchemy family. I only learned something after entering this demonic monster sea. Inside the inner sea of the demonic monster sea, there once was an incredibly powerful ancient alchemy family. But for some reason, this family began to decline 10,000 years ago. This decline continued until 1,000 years ago. It wasn't until 1,000 years ago that the ancient alchemy family was completely wiped out. And that ancient alchemy family was surnamed Lin. As for Brother Lin, his last name is also Lin. Upon hearing this, Li Qingqing looked at Lin Jing in disbelief. Lin Jing, could it be that you are the heir of the ancient alchemical Lin family? Lin Jing then said, I guess so. Actually, I didn't know myself before. It was only after an accident that I found out. Li Qingqing nodded and said, no wonder. So that's how it is. After speaking, Li Qingqing continued to ask, but even if you, Brother Lin Jing, were hiding your cultivation back then, you probably weren't at the Golden Core stage. Facing the invasion of the Howling Skywolf clan, it would have been difficult to ensure your own safety. So how did you manage to escape? Lin Jing sighed and said, this matter is indeed somewhat complicated. Actually, this matter started when we entered the demon race secret realm. Subsequently, Lin Jing narrated the incident that had taken place within the demon race secret realm to both Li Tangyu and Li Qingqing, the siblings. As they listened to Lin Jing's story, they occasionally sighed and at other times grew angry. They had not expected the matters to have been so bizarre. Eventually, Lin Jing bluntly said, so, I never actually encountered the Howling Sky Wolf clan in the beginning. I was taken away by Qingqing. In the end, I was directly transported to this demonic monster sea. After hearing this, Li Qingqing expressed her concern. Does that mean Elder by Elder Yu, Zhang Yuan, and the others are now in a slumber inside the demon race secret realm? When will we be able to see them again? Lin Jing shook his head and said, I don't know, but if our cultivation is insufficient, we probably won't even be able to reach Qingwang Peak, so we can only wait until our cultivation has improved before trying again. In contrast, Li Tangyu was focused on another issue. The Zhang family patriarch always seemed very nice, and even taught us for a while when we were young. But I never expected that he would turn out to be so cruel and heartless. For the sake of survival, he could even abandon his own family, his own kin. Then, Li Tangyu turned to Li Qingqing, his eyes full of unwavering resolve. I can use any despicable means to achieve my goals. But the one thing I cannot do is forsake my kin. Li Qingqing then looked at Li Tangyu and said, Brother, what exactly did you go through? Why have you become the very demon cultivator you always despised? Lin Jing also looked at Li Tangyu and asked, Brother Li, what exactly did you experience after you left to become what you are now? Li Tangyu's brows furrowed, and he seemed reluctant to talk about his past experiences. However, when he turned his head and saw the concerned and pained expression in Li Qingqing's eyes, the resistance in his heart lessened by quite a lot. Thus, after making up his mind, Li Tangyu slowly began. Actually, my journey to the Eastern Spirit Realm did not go smoothly. But no sooner had he spoken these words, Li Tangyu's body suddenly erupted with a massive amount of demonic qi, which then transformed into arrows that pierced through him from inside his body. This demonic qi, seemingly beyond Li Tangyu's control, continued to surge within his body relentlessly. Each time these arrows of demonic qi passed through Li Tangyu, they brought him immense pain. Li Tangyu could only grit his teeth, emitting low growls unwillingly, as if he had no way of dealing with this demonic qi. Brother, what's happened to you? Seeing this, Li Qingqing immediately panicked, standing up quickly and rushing to Li Tangyu's side to find out what was going on. However, Li Tangyu stretched out his hand to stop Li Qingqing from coming any closer. "Don't come over!" Li Tangyu roared this out. It was clear that he was in great agony. This roar startled Li Qingqing, causing her to freeze in place. Afterward, Li Tangyu turned to Lin Jing and said, "Brother Lin, please take Qingqing and leave first. Give me some time, do not disturb me for now. I can handle it myself." Seeing the situation, Lin Jing also frowned deeply. But right now, neither he nor Li Qingqing knew anything. If they rashly interfered, who knew what consequences it might bring? Since Li Tangyu had said so, he must have had his own plan. Therefore, Lin Jing nodded, then motioned for Li Qingqing to leave the room with him. At this moment, Li Qingqing looked at Li Tangyu with a face full of worry. But Li Tangyu had already begun to sit cross-legged, with a large amount of demonic qi emanating from his body, enveloping him in a cloud of demonic mist. Clearly, the process was extremely painful, and he did not want them to see him in this state. Seeing this, Lin Jing did not linger any longer. So he said to Li Tangyu, "Brotherly, if you need anything, just speak up. We'll be waiting outside for you." But Li Tangyu, suppressing his pain, managed to squeeze out one word. "Okay." Soon after, Lin Jing led Li Qingqing out of the room. After leaving the room, Lin Jing and Li Qingqing did not go far. Instead, they waited just outside the door. During this period, Li Qingqing was beside herself with worry. It was only Lin Jing's consoling that prevented her from losing her patience and bursting into the room. After all, she had only just reunited with her brother when he encountered such a predicament. How could she not be anxious? Like this, a full hour passed before Li Tangyu finally spoke up and called him in. Hearing Li Tangyu's voice, Li Qingqing, already impatient, pushed the door open and entered. Lin Jing followed closely behind her. Upon entering, they saw Li Tangyu sitting cross-legged, his face pale as death. At that moment, Li Tangyu seemed as though he was drained of strength, appearing listless. Just then, Li Qingqing, who approached to help Li Tangyu up, couldn't help but exclaim, "Brother, why are you so wet?" Lin Jing quickly walked over as well, and even before reaching Li Tangyu, he could smell the odor of sweat. When Lin Jing came to Li Tangyu and prepared to help him up, he found that Li Tangyu's entire body was soaked with sweat, as if he had just been fished out of water. Even the ground beneath him was stained with a large patch of moisture. At this time, Li Tangyu weakly said, "First help me up." Then Lin Jing and Li Qingqing, one on each side, helped Li Tangyu up and brought him to sit in a chair by the table. And Li Tangyu slumped in the chair, leaning against the backrest, resting. At this moment, Li Qingqing hurriedly leaned in and asked with concern, "Brother, what happened to you? Why are you like this?" Lin Jing also furrowed his brows, asking Li Tangyu, "Brotherly, what exactly is going on here?" Li Tangyu gave a wry smile and said, "It's nothing serious, just that someone has placed a constraint within my body." Hearing these words, Lin Jing was immediately shocked, blurting out, "A constraint?" Li Qingqing, meanwhile, became frantic and quickly asked, "Brother, what on earth happened? Why were you subjected to a constraint? And how can it be broken?" Li Tangyu shook his head and said, "It's no use. The person who placed this constraint is too high in cultivation. Relying on us, we won't be able to break it." Lin Jing's brows tightened, and then he seized Li Tangyu's wrist, channeling his spiritual power to probe into Li Tangyu's body. Because Li Tangyu was a demon cultivator, there was a difference from Lin Jing's spiritual power. As Lin Jing's spiritual power entered Li Tangyu's body, he felt a repelling force. However, Lin Jing did not direct his spiritual power into the meridians, hence the repulsion was not very strong. Thus, Lin Jing bore the repelling force and slowly probed deeper into Li Tangyu's body. As Lin Jing's spiritual power delved further within Li Tangyu, he finally located the abnormality near Li Tangyu's dantian. Beside Li Tangyu's dantian, there was a strand of demonic qi that was incompatible with Li Tangyu's own, continuously coiling around Li Tangyu's dantian, lingering persistently. Even as Lin Jing's spiritual power reached this point, the strand of demonic qi seemed to react. It dispersed immediately, blending into Li Tangyu's meridians. Lin Jing's expression grew more troubled. Then he decisively maneuvered his spiritual power into Li Tangyu's meridians. However, because of the repulsion from the demonic qi in Li Tangyu's body, Lin Jing's spiritual power had barely entered the meridians before it was expelled. Despite the brief incursion, Lin Jing nevertheless detected something amiss. Afterward, Lin Jing withdrew his spiritual power, lifting his head with a serious expression, and said to Li Tangyu, "Just now, when I examined your body, aside from that strand of demonic qi, there seems to be something else in your meridians." "What is that?" Li Tangyu sighed helplessly and replied, "It's a poison goo. Just like the constraint, it's used to control me." At this point, Li Qingqing became quite agitated, hastily grasping Li Tangyu's hand, asking, "Brother, what on earth is going on?" Li Tangyu gently soothed Li Qingqing, then turned to Lin Jing and asked, "Brother Lin, do you know about Mo Island?" Lin Jing nodded, then spoke. "I've heard a bit, but don't know much. As I understand, Mo Island, like Utian Island, is one of the 3 major islands in the Thousand Islands domain, and it's said that the island is entirely populated by demon cultivators. Moreover, the island master of Mo Island is said to be extremely dangerous. His true face has never been seen by anyone, and he is known as the Demon Lord Mo. His cultivation must be at least at the late stage of divinity transformation, right?" Having said this, Lin Jing looked towards Li Tangyu and asked, "Could it be that the constraint on your body was placed by that Demon Lord Mo?" Li Tangyu shook his head and said, "It's not him, but it is his 5th disciple, the Demon Lord Yi. My current condition is all thanks to him." Lin Jing frowned and said, "Brother Li, what exactly happened back then? And how did you end up being targeted by that Yi Demon Lord?" Li Tangyu lifted his head, then slowly began to speak. "Initially, when I came to the demonic monster sea with that elder from the Qingqing sword sect, everything was fine at first. It was only after we separated that something I stumbled upon changed everything." Li Tangyu then started to recount. Meanwhile, Lin Jing and Li Qingqing silently listened to Li Tangyu's narrative. Only after quite a while did Li Tangyu finish telling everything, and both Lin Jing and Li Qingqing understood the whole process of the incident. Actually, the matter, when really getting down to it, was quite simple. After separating from the elder of the Qingqing sword sect, Li Tangyu intended to traverse the demonic monster sea alone, gaining experience while continuing towards the Eastern Spirit Realm. However, during this process, he happened upon a deeply pitiful and severely injured young girl. It was this pitiful young girl that led Li Tangyu into the greatest ordeal of his life. This girl had been prey that the Yi Demon Lord had taken a fancy to, using her to experiment with his demonic techniques, but she had managed to escape accidentally. And yet, she just so happened to be encountered by Li Tangyu, a newly initiated swordsman filled with a sense of justice. Thus, Li Tangyu stepped forward to rescue her. This rescue was no trivial matter. It was followed by the Yi Demon Lord's formidable henchmen capturing both of them after a persistent chase. Originally, the Yi Demon Lord had taken the girl to experiment with his demonic techniques, but Li Tangyu's actions had angered the Yi Demon Lord. Subsequently, the Yi Demon Lord took both Li Tangyu and the girl back to Mo Island. What followed was, Li Tangyu endured countless torments, and his original cultivation was all transformed into demonic techniques for the sake of that experiment. Fortunately, Li Tangyu was lucky and extremely resilient. He withstood the immense pain and ultimately managed to hold on. The experiment with the demonic techniques on Li Tangyu was a success. As for the young girl, she had vanished without a trace ever since. Seeing the success of the demonic techniques on Li Tangyu, the Yi Demon Lord was unwilling to destroy his own experimental results. Therefore, he placed a restriction and a poisonous curse on Li Tangyu, firmly controlling him. From that moment forth, Li Tangyu became a subordinate who would never betray the Yi demon lord. Because the restriction and the poisonous curse made it impossible for Li Tangyu to leave his side. This restriction would burst forth at intervals, and the poison needed an antidote at regular times as well. Otherwise, the agony when the restriction erupted was so intense it was unbearable. Now that the restriction on Li Tangyu had erupted, it indicated that it was time for him to return. Originally, when Li Tangyu came to Blackshing Island, he was on a mission, but he happened to obtain the auction list and saw Li Qingqing in the catalog. Thus, he delayed his return, causing the in-body restriction to erupt. After hearing Li Tangyu recount his story, Li Qingqing's face was already covered with tears. Although Li Tangyu had skipped over most of the experiences on Wan Mo Island. But Lin Jing and Li Qingqing knew that the pain was something ordinary people couldn't bear. Seeing such a weakened Li Tangyu, Lin Jing furrowed his brows and asked, "Brother Li, how can we remove the restriction and poison from your body?" Li Tangyu gave a wry smile and shook his head, saying, "This restriction was personally imposed by the Yi demon lord. One either must surpass his cultivation or find a way to break it. And the poison is exclusive to the Yi demon lord. To remove this restriction and the poison, one must figure out a way to deal with the Yi demon lord." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing's frown deepened even more. It seemed that, to help Li Tangyu remove the restriction and the poison, one would still need to find a way to confront the Yi demon lord. But the Yi demon lord was a nascent soul, true monarch. This matter, to remove the restriction and poison from Li Tangyu, was not going to be easy. Li Tangyu, seeing Lin Jing's deep worry, hurriedly tried to comfort him. "Brother Lin, you do not need to be so nervous. At the very least, I won't be in any life-threatening danger for quite a long time. Furthermore, although I'm currently working for the Yi demon lord, I am also trying to gather information about the poisonous curse and the restriction. Once there's a chance, I will break free from the control of the Yi demon lord at the first opportunity." Lin Jing then said, "Brother Li, you must be extremely careful. Those demon cultivators are not easy to deal with, especially the Yi demon lord who has cultivated to the nascent soul stage. His methods are by no means simple. While you are by his side, you must be very cautious." Li Tangyu smiled slightly and said, "I understand." After speaking, Li Tangyu continued, "Brother Lin, I can't stay here for too long and will leave to return to Wan Mo Island. Now that the in-body restriction has erupted, I've already exceeded the time limit. If I don't return now, I might arouse suspicion from the Yi demon lord. By then, Qingqing will be in your care. You must be cautious and avoid letting anyone from the Black Shark gang catch a hint of anything." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Don't worry, Brother Li. Qingqing will definitely be safe with me." Li Qingqing's concern grew upon hearing that Li Tangyu was planning to leave. She knew what her brother was about to face on this departure. Although Li Tangyu didn't mention it, she was well aware of the dangers involved. Thus, Li Qingqing said to Li Tangyu, "Brother, you must be careful." Although Li Qingqing was very reluctant to see him go, she did not want to see her brother continue to suffer such pain. For now, returning to the side of the demon lord Yi was the only way to relieve some of Li Tangyu's agony. Therefore, Li Qingqing still did not stop Li Tangyu from going back. After pondering for a while, Lin Jing suddenly said, "Brother Li, that demon lord Yi, he hasn't restricted your freedom, right?" Li Tangyu nodded and replied, "Yes. He often assigns me various tasks that require me to constantly travel to different places. That's why he has placed both restraints and goo poison within me." Lin Jing nodded, then said, "If that's the case, it will be much easier to handle. You could try to find clues about the restraints and goo poison from the demon lord Yi. When the time comes, we'll help you together to remove the restraints and goo poison from your body." Li Tangyu nodded and said, "I have not yet gained the trust of demon lord Yi. For now, I will lay low and wait for some time before making a move." After hearing this, Lin Jing nodded. This matter could not be rushed. They had to take it slowly, step by step. The next day, Tangyu had recovered and was ready to leave, heading back to Mo Island. Originally, the time allocated for Tangyu's assigned task had been more than sufficient. But it was his encounter with Qingqing that had caused him to delay for a few extra days and exceed the allotted time for his mission, which led to his delay. This was the first time the restraint on Tangyu's body had erupted. If he did not return within 7 days, he would face the second eruption. And with each eruption, the restraint became more powerful than the last. If he still did not return, then after another 7 days, the third eruption would occur, along with an outbreak of the goo poison in his body. If that happened, even a deity would find it difficult to save him. Now that the first eruption had passed, Tangyu had no choice but to leave. To ensure that Tangyu could quickly return to Mo Island, Lin Jing once again summoned the flying boat, ready to give Tangyu a lift. Of course, Qingqing would follow as well. The chances for the two siblings to meet were not many, so they both treasured every moment together. After entrusting the others who were staying back at their residence with some instructions, Lin Jing took Tangyu and his sister, as well as Little Sparrow, and flew toward Mo Island. Bringing Little Sparrow along was also meant to help her learn the way. Previously, during their all-night chat, the three of them had discussed how to maintain contact with each other. Because Tangyu was not free on Mo Island and could not leave without being assigned a task, maintaining contact was extremely difficult. And for Lin Jing, showing up in Mo Dao, where demon cultivators were prevalent, was too conspicuous. And so, they thought of Little Sparrow, to have Little Sparrow act as a messenger between them. Little Sparrow was of high cultivation and extremely fast. Without the cultivation of at least the nascent soul stage, it was virtually impossible to catch her, making her the perfect messenger. Meanwhile, on the flying boat, Lin Jing asked Tangyu, "Brother Li, are you still practicing alchemy?" Tangyu gave a wry smile and answered, "To be honest, Brother Lin, I stopped practicing alchemy a long time ago. Right now, under the demon Lord Yi, I must focus on improving my cultivation every day just to survive. I simply don't have the time to be distracted with anything else. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to reach the 5th layer of the golden core stage in such a short period." After hearing this, Qingqing looked at Tangyu with eyes full of pity. She understood all too well how important alchemy was to Tangyu. How many unknown nights had Tangyu dedicated to studying the alchemy Dao of their family? And he did so with tireless enthusiasm. Even their grandfather had always been proud of Tangyu for this. Now, the alchemy techniques that were so important to him, he had given up as well. Tangyu also saw the desolation in the eyes of Qingqing. Therefore, he reached out, gently ruffled Qingqing's hair, and said, "The art of the alchemy Dao is something I've only put aside for now. Once I've dealt with this trouble, I think I will pick it up again. Qingqing, in the coming time, you must listen to Brother Lin and focus on your practice. Believe me, I will quickly be able to break free from the current predicament." Qingqing nodded and replied, "I believe in you." Lin Jing also added, "Brother Li, rest assured, I will try on my part to help you find some clues to remove the restraints and goo poison from your body." Then Tangyu asked Lin Jing, "Brother Lin, when you asked me those questions, did you have any plans in mind?" Lin Jing nodded and explained, "Actually, I want to pass on the alchemy techniques of the Lin family to you." After hearing this, Tangyu contemplated for a moment and said, "The ancient alchemy arts, if they are carelessly passed on, could that not cause trouble? Moreover, this alchemy technique is connected to the ancient alchemy path of prestigious families. For you to decide on this matter so hastily seems somewhat improper." Lin Jing then said, "I am naturally aware of this. Therefore, I plan to teach it only to those close to me who I trust. As for the Lin family, now that it has perished, it can be said that only the two of us remain. Hence, it is not entirely unreasonable for me to make this decision. What's more, I have some plans for which I will need someone to practice the ancient alchemy arts of the Lin family to assist me in alchemy." At this point, Qingqing suddenly asked, Just now, you mentioned that 2 people from the Lin family are left, beside yourself. Is there another one? Lin Jing nodded and said, "It is that Lin Ju who is very likely to be a remnant bloodline of the Lin family. However, after I return, I will have to test him once more." Li Qingqing instantly had an epiphany. "So it's him, no wonder." Li Tangyu then said, "If that's the case, then pass it on to Qingqing. I don't need it. Under the Demon Lord's watch, I have to be extremely careful and cannot reveal any anomalies." Lin Jing nodded and said, "All right then." Because they were within the area of the Thousand Islands domain and the distance wasn't too far, several hours passed in a shadow escape flying boat. They neared 1Mo Island. Upon reaching this area, they could not proceed further. Li Tangyu disembarked from the flying boat here and left with Little Sparrow. Little Sparrow was quite smart. Having confirmed the location this time, next time it would remember the way on its own. After Li Tangyu's departure, Lin Jing took Li Qingqing and returned to Liyan Island. As for Little Sparrow, it could fly back on its own when the time came. It could also get used to the route incidentally. After returning to Liyan Island, Lin Jing found Lin Ju, who was meditating and cultivating, and directly brought him to the bedroom in the back courtyard. Upon entering the bedroom, Lin Ju was clearly nervous and unsure about why Lin Jing had summoned him. "Senior, may I ask why you called for me?" Lin Jing then took out a purple treasure box from a storage bag and placed it on the table. This box was the very bloodline inheritance box that Lin Jing had acquired on Immortal Crossing Island. Then he said to Lin Ju, "There's no need to be nervous. I have called you here to perform a verification." Lin Ju looked at the treasure box on the table, especially the Lin character on it, which made him feel that Lin Jing had some deeper purpose. But Lin Ju did not show it and asked in confusion, "May I know what verification Senior wishes for me to conduct?" Lin Jing pointed at the box and said, "Now, drip a few drops of your blood into the center of this box." Hearing Lin Jing's words, Lin Ju instantly recalled the first time he met Lin Jing, when Lin Jing had asked for his blood. Lin Ju couldn't help but think, could it be that the senior wanted my blood for this purple box back then? However, since Lin Jing had said so, Lin Ju naturally wouldn't refuse. So Lin Ju concentrated spiritual power on his fingertip, made a cut, and forced out his blood. As Lin Ju's droplets of blood fell onto the box, it slowly began to change. A purple light emanated from a box, growing increasingly intense. However, it seemed that Lin Ju's bloodline was not pure enough, and the light emitted by the box could not compare to the brightness when Lin Jing first opened the inheritance box. Moreover, the inheritance box showed no sign of opening. Lin Jing frowned immediately, puzzled by the situation. There was a reaction from the box, but it would not open. Lin Jing did not understand why this was happening. At this moment, Lin Ju watched the purple light radiating from the box and was also stunned, unsure of what to do next. Even the wounds started to show signs of healing, and the blood no longer dripped. It seemed that those few drops of blood were simply not enough to unlock the box. So, Lin Jing said to Lin Ju once more, "Keep going." Lin Ju paused for a moment, looked at his finger, and quickly realized what to do. He uttered an "oh," used spiritual power to widen the wound on his finger, and began to let his blood drip again. Just like that, as Lin Ju's blood continued to flow out, landing on the box, the purple glow from the treasure box grew even stronger. Finally, after a while, Lin Jing felt that the blood Lin Ju had lost could fill a small jade bottle. The inheritance box then made click-click sounds. Subsequently, the purple light faded and the box reappeared. But this time, a crack showed up on the box. It had obviously been opened. Lin Jing then directly said to Lin Ju, "Come, open this box." Lin Ju looked doubtfully at Lin Jing, who nodded his head. Afterward, Lin Ju reached out to open the box. He barely touched it, and the lid of the box loosened, revealing a gap. Lin Ju then lifted the lid of the box. However, upon opening the box, Lin Ju was stunned, because the seemingly exquisite box was completely empty inside. There was nothing at all. Lin Ju then looked up at Lin Jing and asked, "Senior, Is this box empty? Actually, when Lin Ju first saw the box, many thoughts had already crossed his mind. Lin Ju wondered if the contents of the secret box could be related to him or if they might belong to the Lin family. Because of the character Lin on it, Lin Ju felt it was somewhat familiar, as if he had seen this character when he was very young. Furthermore, the secret box was opened with his own blood. Even more so, he was convinced that the box was very likely related to the Lin family, a family of the ancient alchemy path. But after opening the secret box, it turned out to be completely empty. Lin Ju then recalled how Lin Jing had previously taken his blood. He couldn't help but think to himself, could it be that the contents of the box have already been taken by Senior? It is very likely. Then it is very possible that Senior obtained this secret box, and after encountering me, he exchanged my blood to open the box and took whatever was inside. So, if Senior has been so kind to me, is it just to use me? At this thought, the light in Lin Ju's eyes suddenly became dim. After that, Lin Ju looked down, his eyes devoid of their previous brilliance, and then he spoke. Senior, the contents of this box, you took them long ago, didn't you? At this moment, Lin Jing was contemplating the secret box and didn't notice Lin Ju's expression. He simply responded, yes. This secret box, in fact, is the bloodline inheritance box of the Lin family of the ancient alchemy path, which only someone with the Lin family's blood can open. What was placed inside was the Lin family's alchemy techniques, and I have already taken it out. I used this inheritance box, actually to see whether you truly are a member of the Lin family or not. Lin Ju felt a wave of sadness, thinking that the senior who had been so kind to him was, after all, just using him. Thus, Lin Ju spoke again to Lin Jing. Senior, now that you have confirmed that I am of the Lin family, what do you plan to do next? Are you going to imprison me or kill me? Following this, Lin Ju looked up, his eyes filled with sadness, and said to Lin Jing, my life was saved by you, Senior, and I will harbor no resentment, whatever you decide to do. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing realized something was amiss, so he looked up and saw that sad look in Lin Ju's eyes. Lin Jing was taken aback, and then immediately understood that Lin Ju must have misunderstood, thinking that he was only using him to open the Lin family's inheritance box. To that, Lin Jing felt quite helpless. So, Lin Jing then said, I want you to learn the alchemy techniques of the Lin family. Hearing Lin Jing say this, Lin Ju hurriedly looked up, his gaze filled with confusion, as he looked at Lin Jing. Lin Jing then said, do you think that I used your blood to open this secret box, and then took the alchemy techniques of the Lin family from it? Lin Ju looked at Lin Jing with bewilderment. Isn't that the case? Lin Jing then shook his head, laughed softly, and said, I actually opened this secret box with my own blood. Lin Ju said afterward, Senior, didn't you say that only the blood of the Lin family could open it? Saying this, Lin Ju also came to a realization. Could it be Senior? Lin Jing then asked Lin Ju, do you know what my name is? Lin Ju suddenly recalled how sisterly had addressed Lin Jing back on the flying boat. Brother Lin Jing, surname Lin. Thinking to this point, Lin Ju suddenly looked up, his eyes filled with disbelief, and said to Lin Jing, Senior, could it be that you, like me, are also a descendant of the ancient alchemy path's Lin family? Lin Jing nodded and said, the Lin family has not truly perished, and we should both be remnants of the Lin family. Lin Ju looked at Lin Jing with surprise, suspicion, and even a surge of inexplicable joy, at a loss for how to react. Afterward, Lin Jing closed the bloodline inheritance box again and then spoke to Lin Ju. It's meaningless to just talk about it. Look for yourself. Saying this, Lin Jing directly used his spiritual power to force out a few drops of blood, which he then dripped onto the inheritance box. With the drops of Lin Jing's blood, the inheritance box once again emitted a purple glow, which became increasingly intense. Then the sounds of click-clack could be heard again as the box was opened once more. Upon witnessing this scene, Lin Ju looked up at Lin Jing, his eyes wide with disbelief, his expression carrying a mix of incredulity and an indescribable excitement. Then he turned and, overwhelmed with shame, lowered his head and said to Lin Jing, "Senior, I'm very sorry. I had doubts about you just now." Lin Jing then said, "It's not necessary. Doubts are a common human feeling. It's good that you know about this. I told you these things also to clarify that I would not harm you, because we share the same roots and origin." Lin Ju nodded vigorously. "I understand, Senior." Lin Jing then looked at Lin Ju and said, "Lin Ju, the reason I called you here was firstly to confirm your identity, because the last time I obtained your blood, I did not completely open this inheritance box. Thus, I needed to verify it again. Now that your identity is confirmed, I want you to study the true alchemy techniques of the Lin family. Do you wish to learn?" Lin Ju looked at Lin Jing and nodded emphatically, saying, "Senior, I'm willing." Lin Jing nodded, then said to Lin Ju, "Besides this matter, there's another issue that requires you to make a decision." Lin Ju was puzzled and asked, "Senior, may I ask what matter requires my decision?" Lin Jing continued, "It's about Yiyun. I plan to find a few trustworthy people to practice the alchemy techniques of our Lin family. You and Yiyun have spent a great deal of time together and have formed a deep bond. Whether or not to pass on these alchemy techniques to him is for you to decide." Hearing Lin Jing's words, Lin Ju then spoke, "Senior, it's better not to pass on the alchemy techniques to Yiyun." Lin Jing looked at Lin Ju, confused, and asked, "Oh, why is that?" Lin Ju then explained, "Yiyun simply has no talent for alchemy Dao. Besides, he's restless by nature and has an extreme dislike for alchemy. I tried teaching him alchemy before, but he could never learn it. So, over time, I gave up." Lin Jing instantly understood and nodded, saying, "I see. If that's the case, then we won't pass it on to him. Due to the unique nature of the Lin family's jade slip for alchemy, it couldn't be duplicated, so only Lin Ju and Li Qingqing could study it together. Therefore, Lin Jing again said to Lin Ju, "If the alchemy techniques are not to be passed on to Yiyun, then it will be up to you and Qingqing to practice the Lin family's alchemy Dao together. In the next few days, I will arrange everything here. After that, the two of you can cultivate together." Lin Ju, after hearing this, had no objections and nodded. "All right." Lin Jing nodded and said, "Okay, then you can leave for now." Lin Ju bowed to Lin Jing and said, "Yes, Senior." Having said that, he was about to step out, but it was then that Lin Jing stopped him. Lin Ju, puzzled, turned and asked Lin Jing, "Senior, is there something else?" Lin Jing gave a helpless smile and said, "Since we've already cleared the air, stop calling me Senior. I'm not that much older than you. From now on, let's address each other as brothers." Lin Ju was taken aback upon hearing this term of address. It took him a moment to recover before he softly said, Brother." Lin Jing nodded and replied, "MHM." Perhaps a bit uncomfortable, Lin Ju paused for a long time after saying those two words. Lin Jing looked at Lin Ju, who was still standing there in a daze. He then asked, "What's wrong? Don't you want to? If you don't want to, that's fine. I won't force you." Upon hearing this, Lin Ju hurriedly shook his head, his voice choking up as if recalling something. "No, it's not that. It's just that this is all so sudden, I don't quite know what to do. Back when my grandfather passed away, I was alone in Bihai City. I wished so much for an older brother to protect me. Now," at this point, Lin Ju could no longer continue. His head lowered, tears streamed down. It seemed that Lin Jing's words had reminded the poor boy of his past hardships. Lin Jing sighed, then approached Lin Ju and patted his shoulder, saying, "It's okay. From now on, I will protect you. And remember, men should not cry easily. Don't act like a little girl." Lin Ju's face flushed red. He nodded and replied quietly, "MHM, understand." His voice was so faint that Lin Jing, despite being close, hardly heard it. After speaking, Lin Ju quickly left, leaving Lin Jing somewhat perplexed. However, Lin Jing did not think much of it. He then bowed his head and continued to ponder other matters. After a while, Lin Jing left the room and entered to the front courtyard of the residence. Since it was Lin Jing's residence, when the place was constructed, Yu Qi had taken extra care. Just the spacious courtyards alone included both a front and a back one. There were also a front hall, rear hall, guest rooms, bedrooms, and over 20 other rooms. Although it was not as luxurious as the palaces constructed by Daimao before, it was more than sufficient for the few of them to reside in. However, because Lin Jing would need to practice alchemy, he would definitely have to enter the system space. So Lin Jing still planned on building other residences for them all elsewhere. Arriving at the front courtyard, everyone was present. Lin Ju was chatting with Qingqing, while Han Bingyan sat quietly on the side, not speaking. Only Ian was practicing martial arts in the yard. However, he was not meditating or cultivating, but was earnestly practicing his boxing like a martial artist, with precise movements. Even with Lin Jing's arrival, it seemed as if he hadn't noticed. Seeing this, Lin Jing grew curious. He stopped and watched attentively.